Alright, we are recording. I just need to get the link. It's on Twitter now. If you want to share. Wait, why can't I post it? There we go. Kelsey, we're gonna record. We are now. Can you shut the door, please? We're gonna record. We are now. Can you shut the door, please? Whoa. Alright, apparently my mic is hot, so I don't know why. What's up, everybody? It's been a long time. A very, very long time. We're back with the Battling Bronco podcast after a 4-month hiatus, maybe? 3 or 4 months.
At least.
Zach, welcome back. It's good to see your
you
face.
as well, brother. And yours.
And we are celebrating today, aren't we?
Yes, we are, Evan. Tell them why.
We are celebrating a Nathaniel Hackett hiring. 8 hours was enough to solidify Nathaniel Hackett's spot as new head coach of the Denver Broncos. And I, for one, could not be more excited. Zach, I know you like this hiring as well. What's your first reaction? What was your first reaction to the tweet this morning?
Very ecstatic. Kind of the first thing I woke up to. Woke up Mindy to tell her, and that's how excited I was. So that should give you a pretty clear picture of how excited I was. But, this is the guy that we wanted kind of when this thing first started after Fangio was let go. We wanted more of an offensive-minded guy. Everything I've heard about Hackett is pretty positive. Obviously, the Broncos like him a lot after spending so much time with him. He's done great things in Green Bay. So, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I was excited when we hired Fangio, and that didn't turn out too well. But I think this one will have a more positive outcome. What about you?
Yeah, it's definitely a new era, as I've been saying, in Denver. New offensive-minded head coach for the first time since Mike Shanahan, was it? Maybe not that far, but...
Say that again, Evan. First what since Shanahan?
First offensive-minded head coach since Shanahan. Am I wrong in saying that?
Oh,
no, Kubiak.
Yeah, Shanahan.
Kubiak, my apologies.
Well, yeah, but Shanahan was just football-minded.
Yeah. Well, and then Kubiak, obviously, which we won the Super Bowl with. Wow.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's very exciting, especially along 4 years. 5-6 years since being even in the playoffs. So I'm excited. Hackett was top 2 for me. I was kind of getting on the O'Connell train. And so...
So you preferred Hackett and O'Connell over Dan Quinn?
For sure.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm not one of those to say Dan Quinn was the same person as Fangio because he wasn't. I think he would have been, um, a better head coach than Hackett for sure. But uh,
Wait, do you mean Fangio? Quinn would have been a better coach than Fangio?
yes, sorry, I just got a notification that something's wrong. But I think we're still going. There was an error in our
Okay.
keyframe frequency, so someone let us know if this is still going. But
Not
anyway.
the keyframe frequency.
So anyway, as I was saying, Hackett was in Denver Monday or Tuesday, Monday. 8 hours. He left Denver, and then someone or the Jaguars came in and wanted him to come to Jacksonville today, and Peyton wasn't having any of that. So Peyton got his guy, and along with that, Dan Quinn pulled out of any other runnings. There was a report that he wanted the Broncos. So as soon as that happened, he um, decided to stay
Makes
put.
sense.
So
Yeah, because weren't the Giants going to interview him? And I mean, I can't blame the guy for not wanting to interview over there.
yeah, so he obviously wanted the Broncos. Bears, Giants were in the running too. So, and they did give him a pay raise. They did give Dan Quinn a pay raise to stay there in Dallas. I know Jerry Jones really wanted him to stay. So uh, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad Dan Quinn isn't here. I just like, again, it's a new era, and we have. It's weird. It's just weird to think about. And what I like about Nathaniel Hackett is he's very adaptable. He's open to adapting to new schemes, and even talked about studying the Shanahan offense a little more back in the day. So
Heck yes.
um, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, Zach. So just quick questions. Quick question for you. Now, this all
Hmm.
happened without the knowledge of or the desire to get Aaron Rodgers, which a lot of people think is why we hired Hackett, which would be it's not the Peyton way to do that for one, and it would be pretty dumb to do that if you're not a believer in the head coach. So, what's your take on
Yes.
that scuttlebutt?
This was a Nathaniel Hackett move. This was not an Aaron Rodgers slash Devontae Adams move. Uh, you and I both trust George Payton. He knows what he's doing. We know he knows what he's doing. We've liked pretty much everything he's done in his short stint as GM for the Broncos. And this is just that next step. And I mean, I'm totally fine with Hackett as our next coach for the next 4+ years. I think it was a 4-year deal with or without Rodgers. And I know you and I have talked about maybe the Broncos getting a much, much cheaper Kirk Cousins who could possibly push us over the edge with our elite defense and take us back to the playoffs or even just get us another winning season. But this was a Hackett move. It wasn't contingent on Rodgers coming or Adams coming. Would we like them to come? Of course we would. Do we want to give up 3 or more first-round picks for those two guys? That's debatable. That's for another discussion. But I mean, no, it's not by any means like, well, I don't want Hackett here if Rodgers isn't going to follow him, because there are those who would say, and there is some merit to it, that really Hackett, I mean, he had a really good year with the Jaguars when they made the AFC
Right.
Championship, I believe. But that too was had mostly to do with their defense, and then the Jags kind of sputtered the next season. And then, of course, he's been lights out with Green Bay. So the question stands that can he have specifically the offensive success in Denver that he's had with Green Bay without Aaron Rodgers? So that remains to be seen. But whether Rodgers and or Adams follows him or not, I'm totally happy with Hackett. He seems like the right man for the job. It seems like He seems like a guy who the players love. I know Rodgers has raved about him. I forget who it was, but they said I think Rodgers called the Falcons or someone like that, telling them to hire Hackett for their head coach. So, I mean, he can't say enough good things about the guys. So, I
Right.
mean, I love it with or without Aaron.
So that brings me to my next question. We see a lot with new, especially offensive-minded head coaches. They want their own guy. They want their own quarterback. Now, Aaron Rodgers obviously would fit that bill for Hackett,
Mm-hmm.
but still, if for some reason the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes falls through, you have the draft to look at, and with a new with a new coach, you're kind of looking at a quarterback there in the first round all of a sudden.
Yeah. Gosh, I would definitely prefer Rodgers or Cousins if he wants to go that route. Would you? I would think because I would say most pundits view Kenny Pickett as the number one quarterback. Do you think Hackett would prefer Pickett or someone like Willis or Corral, or do you think he will go all in for a Rodgers or give up a couple day two picks for Cousins if that's all it costs?
Yeah, so Cousins is definitely going to be cheaper. We're still somewhat new to George Payton as general manager, but we
Mm-hmm.
we do know that he isn't going to sell the barn for anything that isn't a solid deal. We saw that with Matthew Stafford in the offseason last year, and so Kirk Cousins is a lot more viable. But if you can get Rodgers for a couple first rounders, he probably would do that if it were my guess. And but beyond that, we'll get to the Devonte Adams story. But I hear your wife is back. Uh,
They have returned.
we'll get to the Devonte story, but I don't think Devonte's. I don't think Peyton's going to give up 4 picks to get 2 guys, especially with our. Um, did you move your camera wide?
Oh,
Okay, it went
oh,
weird
geez.
on me. So anyway, I don't think Peyton's gonna like give up the next 4 years worth of first round picks. Um, Aaron Rodgers is
Right.
very, very doable in my eyes. Kirk Cousins, sure, um, but I don't think I don't think Adams um, is a viable option at this point unless something crazy happens. But as for rookies go,
Yeah.
it just depends on what George Payton and Nathaniel Hackett decide on. I do not think George Payton is for a rookie at this point, and we all know the rookie class is
Yeah.
um,
Subpar.
subpar compared to previous years. I'm not saying there aren't good quarterbacks out there, but most are, um, except for maybe Kenny Pickett, most seem to be projects. And
Projects. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
so,
And
um,
Evan, he doesn't seem like the type to me to trade up or even with the number 9 pick to pick one of these rookie quarterbacks that high. He doesn't seem like the type of GM who would take that kind of a risk.
yeah, well, I mean, again, it depends on who it is. I mean, they could fall in love with someone. I mean, heck, even if we got Aaron Rodgers, that'd be a great. I mean, we don't want to repeat what the Packers did in drafting Jordan Love, but at the same time, you still have to look ahead. And Malik Willis is right there. I haven't gotten into any draft stuff yet, but Willis is definitely
Mm-hmm.
a project with
Yes.
raw talent. Um, so, all that being said, I think it still falls on George Payton to decide on the quarterback issue, and I'm sure this came up in the meeting that they
Yeah.
had, and they obviously are in the same boat. But just going back to the Hackett story and other interviewees, it, Dan Quinn was always a favorite. I mean, last week, right now, we still thought Dan Quinn was going to be the guy. And
Mm-hmm.
there was a report that he just did not have a great interview, and he had all the reason to be Peyton's favorite, having worked with him in the past, and it just didn't happen. I don't know if that report is true. And there was also a report that they didn't see eye to eye on the quarterback issue and how they would fix it. So all of these things come back to Hackett, and they must have a similar outlook for the quarterback situation. And if we were to guess, and if we would say that it would probably be a veteran of some sort. And just the way, I know we've talked about this before, just the way Peyton has, um, set us up for a big splash
Right.
in trading here
With,
this offseason with cap space for one, and then obviously
yeah, draft
trading
capital.
Von Miller, which will be interesting, by the way, to see if he talked about a return, but that would be fun if he came back if we did make a big splash. But um, so yeah, it's set up to make a big move, and you don't do that. You would think he would trade up to like the 1 or 2 spot with the capital we have, but there's no quarterback there that's worthy of that trade up. So all
Yeah,
signs point to trading for a quarterback, but
I agree.
we'll see.
Yeah, the writing, like you said, the writing seems to be on the wall that Peyton prefers a Rodgers or a Cousins or a veteran based off of the cap space we've made and the draft capital we've stocked up to possibly trade away for one of these guys. So that makes more sense to me. And I mean, with the defense we have right now, you kind of don't want to waste time with that. But again, clearly Peyton and the Broncos wanted more of an offensive minded guy after the failures of Joseph and Fangio and who am I leaving out, Evan? Anyway, the last two guys have been more defensive minded guys, and it hasn't worked out well. Even though our defense has done really well. So I mean, like I said this morning, it's just a breath of fresh air into the offense that will hopefully breathe new life into it. Whether it's Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock or Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins or whoever. I don't think it'll be a rookie starting, at least not this year, but the future is bright either way.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched Mic'd Up Nathaniel Hackett, go do that on YouTube because it is totally opposite of Fangio and just the way he interacts with players, the way he coaches. I mean, I'm sure George Payton fell in love with that, and
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers himself says when he's in front of a room, you're captivated. So,
yeah, it's much easier to run through a brick wall for Hackett than
right,
it was for Fangio.
right. So it's going to be a fun off season. We knew that already, but we have a ton of cap space. I think top three in cap space, if my memory serves me correctly. So buckle up, everybody. We got our new head coach. We got our guy, a new era in Denver, and we should be looking into free agency and the draft in these upcoming months. I'm gonna start plugging away at the draft come February. So, um, Zach, any closing remarks?
I'm excited, man. I mean, I know his history in Buffalo and Jacksonville might cause people to pause, but I mean, we can't help but be excited. And like I said earlier, he's the guy I wanted. One final non Broncos related thought is just I still feel so bad for Josh Allen, Evan.
Sure.
He deserved a win more than anyone
I
in
wanted
any
to
playoff game ever.
I wanted to end on a high note, but that's all right.
Well, I just got to give my guy a shout out. That's why I'm sporting the Wyoming cap here. But you know, he's he just deserved a win. Evan. I mean, but what a weekend of football.
Yeah,
Um,
hoping for a better one.
anyway, but
Can't even
yeah, the
get better
future
than
is
that.
bright for the Broncos and go Bengals, I guess.
Sure. All right. Well, we will talk to you guys. We'll babble at you later. I'm rusty. I forgot my closing line there, but we will babble at you next time. Go Broncos.
See y'all.